Our guest for today just came to Montreal, Canada last month in August on a study permit and started school right away this month. But it was not a straightforward application. She had to apply and get approved first for another specific certificate required in the province where she is now. Let's listen to her story and learn from her.
My name is Lucky Famero, and I was born in Romblon, Romblon. I grew up in Romblon, Romblon, Philippines. It is a small but a very beautiful island, and I took up broadcast communication at University of the East Manila. And I worked in various industries in the Philippines before moving to United Arab Emirates back in 2018. Yes. And I lived there for 3 years, and I worked as an office administrator for a system integrator company. And I went back to the Philippines just last year of August. And I stayed there for 9 months and worked with Ernst & Young, or EY Philippines. It is a global organization, and I provided support to directors and partners of EY Australia until just July, last day of July of this year. And August 2nd, I flew to Montreal, Quebec, Canada, where I'm right now.
Wow, I'm impressed. So you mean when did you graduate from university in the Philippines?
2012.
So what made you decide to come to Canada?
To be honest, I before finally deciding to study in Canada, I was already planning to settle in the Philippines for good after UAE. It is actually my sister who convinced me to come here. And at first, really, I've been really excited to come here. However, during my first mild winter in UAE, and that was only 11 degrees Celsius, and I could barely handle the cold. And so I thought, and learning that Canada reaches -40, I thought maybe Canada is not for me. And so I totally delayed, or I totally ignored the fact of coming here. But, and I also decide to maybe move to Australia instead, because the weather there is much bearable. But you know, the universe has its own magical way of showing you the path, which path to take. That's why I'm also grateful to push through with this education here in Canada.
So how did you apply?
Yep, I applied directly to Canada Immigration, and I didn't use any agency anymore. I did that process all by myself. So Google and Facebook were my best friends during the whole application. And I've also set a timeline for myself, because I was targeting to come here and study during fall intake in September, which is this month. So upon securing all my requirements, I lodged my application right away, which was in May 2022 this year. And just 30 days after, and 1 month to be exact, in June 2022, I received the approval right away. And I was so shocked. I was so surprised, because I thought it would take me 4 months, or even I was thinking the worst, or get refused, because at that time I've been reading a lot of refusals from other international students. Kaya when I received the email, I was in Romblon back then. I was working remotely. I was so happy, and I'm so glad to be receiving the approval. And also, it was hard for me, because kapag mag-aaral ka dito sa Quebec, hindi ka basta-basta makaka-apply ng study permit. You also have to apply for Quebec acceptance certificate. So that's another step for me bago ako apply for Canada student permit. That's probably why I think other international students choose to study in other provinces like Toronto, British Columbia, or Alberta, because they will only apply for a study permit, while in Quebec, you have to apply for Quebec acceptance certificate bago ka makarating po dito.
What's the requirement for that Quebec certificate?
For the Quebec certificate,
Need to
no,
speak French?
you don't really have to speak French. Um, the basic ones, the transcript of records for your college and all that, everything you can find in Canadian immigration website and Quebec website as well.
Okay, okay. So the first thing that you did was look for the school
Yes, look
before.
for the school. It was also kind of hard for me to look for the right school for me in Quebec dahil most colleges and universities here in Quebec require French language as a
Yeah.
prerequisite. So I'm grateful to be able to find the right school for me who also uh, teaches in English. And however, I've also prior to that, I tried to review for IELTS because I thought IELTS is required. But then I later found out that you can come here by just showing a proof of medium of instruction as English from your high school or university. Yep.
Oh, they don't require IELTS. Oh,
Yep.
that's
In
good.
some schools, there are certain schools who don't require IELTS. Yep.
Yeah. So, what month did you start applying?
Yeah, I started collating all my requirements in January this year, and I applied last May 2022, and I got my approval just 1 month after June 2022.
So May you just like submitted your application to the
That I
school.
lodged my application May po, and then natanggap ko na yung approval June 2022.
By June.
Exactly
Did you
1
use
month.
the direct stream, student direct
No,
stream?
regular stream po. Yep, regular stream. And I've read also na it really depends. Because for student direct stream, you have to have IELTS and you have
Oh,
to have this like there are more requirements for direct student SDS, student direct stream, and you also have to prepare 10,000 guaranteed investment certificate or what they call GIC.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, so for yourself, you did not require. They did not require for.
They did not require the
Yes, I
IELTS.
see.
So it really depends on your school. So the student has to inquire first, double check with their school if they require IELTS or not. Yeah.
No, I mean the GIC. They did not require
GIC
that.
for regular stream, no, they do not require GIC. But you can also to make your application or your proof of fund stronger.
Yeah.
Yep.
So your sister is also there, like where you
Yep.
live now?
My sister is in Canada, but she's currently working in North Quebec, so I get to see her every 2 months only.
But you're living in a dormitory or in an apartment?
No, I'm living in her apartment in Montreal. She has an apartment here in Montreal. Yep. Yep, in the city in Montreal.
So what's your course now? What are you taking?
I'm currently taking up administration and computing. So it's really related to my previous work experience. It is fun and I really like it. And I enjoyed my classes so much because the work learnings that I had from my previous work, I get to connect it to my academic learnings now. So parang every time na parang may mga discussions na nakaka-relate ako, I feel like, so ganito pala yun, kaya pala, parang nako-connect ko siya lagi. So, yeah, I'm really glad that I took up and I pushed through with my administrative field.
I think that's one of the requirements, diba? If you have like they require in your application, they require you to give the parang purpose or choice of choice of program at saka yung background mo, work background, your educational background. So you have to really parang tell them na this is what I want, this is my background para ma-approve ka talaga, di ba?
Yep. As much as possible po, yung kukunin yung course dapat related sa work experiences nyo before. Or kung mag-change career man kayo, you have to you have to defend why you are changing career.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you have to be detailed on defending why you have to change career.
Yeah. When you were in the Philippines, were you considering on studying again?
Yes. As I mentioned earlier, after UAE, I was already planning to settle in the Philippines for good and continue my work there while taking up short course in administration because I didn't have a formal education in administration because I graduated with a communication degree.
So yung course mo dyan is administrative, parang gano'n.
Administration pa rin po. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So how many years are you studying?
Yeah. 2 years po. 2-year course po siya. And yes, in finding my school, there are 5 factors that I considered. First, affordability, because we all know how expensive it is here in Canada. Second, the credibility of the school. Third, the duration of my program. I was aiming for 2 years. Fourth is the availability of my program, which is administration. And fifth, it has to be near my place because hassle po kapag sobrang layo ng school ko.
Yeah.
Lalo na kapag winter.
Diyan ka lang nag-apply talaga na school or did you consider other schools?
I was actually initially planning to study in British Columbia because the weather there is much bearable. I think hanggang umaabot lang sila ng 8 degrees Celsius, but my sister insisted that I study here in Montreal instead.
Yeah, that's better for you.
Yeah, which is, I think, it was a good decision for me because it doesn't get lonely. So I didn't have to adjust a lot because when I was in UAE, I experienced that it really gets lonely at times. When I was in UAE. Now, being here in Montreal, knowing that my sister is just around, hindi ganon kalungkot. One time, matanong niya ako if I get homesick. Sabi ko, no. To be honest, hindi po ako na homesick. Siguro din dahil sanay na ako na mag-isa. Or I mean, I lived for 3 years and independently in UAE. So I'm used to being alone. Being alone, parang ang lungkot. I'm used to live independently. Yeah. Ayun po.
Right. Okay, so you paid already your tuition, right? They require you to pay like 1 year of your tuition fee.
Actually, that's the good thing about my school because other schools I've read that before they can get a letter of acceptance from their school, they need to just pay for 1 year tuition fee. But for my school, I didn't have to pay for my 1 year tuition fee. I just had to pay for my application, which is just 250 Canadian dollars. That's it.
Application for
for the course, for the program. I only paid 250. So I didn't pay my 1 year tuition fee.
Oh, but how much is the 1 year tuition fee?
So my total tuition fee is 30,000 Canadian dollars.
Wow, and you will be paying that in installment?
Yes, installment. Just installment. Oh. Yep.
$30,000 for 2 years.
Yes, for 2 years. Approximately $30,000. Yeah.
Yeah. I know, of course, we've been reading, especially siguro yung mga nagbabalak na mag-apply. I know they have been reading na talaga medyo magastos ang study permit, student permit, di ba? So, I'm curious. I don't know if you are comfortable like sharing. Yep. How do you come up with the money that you use for the application, for the tuition fee, for the GIC?
Yes.
For the show money?
My savings from working in the UAE helped a lot and in applying. And I have 2 sponsors. My mom, si mama po, and my sister for my accommodation. My mom is my primary sponsor for my tuition fee and other school-related expenses. And my sister, Megs, is my sponsor for my accommodation. And in total, including my savings as well, we came up with 60,000 Canadian dollars. But you really don't have to have that amount of
Uh-huh.
money to be able to apply.
Yeah.
IRCC or Canada Immigration just require you to have equivalent of your 1 year tuition fee in Canada plus your
Mhm.
1 year amount of living expenses, which is 10,000 Canadian dollars. So if your 1 year tuition fee is 15,000 Canadian dollars, you just need to add 10,000 Canadian dollars. That's the minimum requirement of proof
25.
of funds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's not just a show money because you really have to have that money to show them that you are able to support your studies here.
Yeah, yeah,
And
right.
it's really, and others would think that having a part-time job would help them sustain their lifestyle here and their tuition fee, but it's not. It's really not. It's not enough. Your
Yeah,
part-time
of course.
work will never be enough. So you have to be really prepared before coming here, financially, emotionally, and physically, because it's gonna be hard, but it's worth it.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I'm happy that you're enjoying, but you just started, right? Like it's only how many weeks pa lang?
Siguro more than 1 month na po. Yeah, and
Oh,
it's starting to get cold already. That's why I'm having colds and coughing.
okay.
Yes. But,
The worst is yet to come.
yeah, but I think I'll get used to it po.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have other like do you know other like people Filipinos there in the school before you came here or
No,
no?
surprisingly, sobrang konti lang po ng, parang wala pa ako nakikitang Filipino sa school ko. It's either
Talaga?
because, yes, most students here really prefer other provinces. Kasi,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yep, maraming restrictions dito sa Montreal. But so far for me, I love being in Montreal because the vibe here is very young and very hip. Like, anywhere you go, there are things to do. During my first weeks here, I went museum hopping and I also watched ballet and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice there in Montreal. The
Yeah.
buildings are nice.
But you have to be able to speak French. So, je
So
parle un
you've
peu
been
en
studying
français. Ano
you've
po?
been studying French?
Je parle un peu le français. A little bit. I'm studying on my own, just basic ones. But sa program ko po, we'll have our business French course. So that would be next sem. Yeah.
Okay. So in your class, how many are you? How many students are you in class?
Just 26, average 26 students, which is good for me because there are lots of classroom interactions kasi konti lang kami sa school, sa
Yeah,
room.
yeah. Pero English, based in English and ano,
Yes,
curriculum
yes,
niyo.
basic English po.
But you're allowed to work, right? How many hours are you
Yes,
allowed to work?
my part-time work will start next weekend, and students are allowed to work 20 hours per week, and you cannot exceed that. If you want to stay here, you should not exceed your 20 hours per week allowed for international students. Otherwise, you need to go back home. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But
They
you
will
plan
know.
to
They will know.
later on you plan to apply for a permanent residency.
Yeah, yes. But before I just really wanna study here and get just 3 years work experience. But habang tumatagal po, parang nagugustuhan ko na din talaga dito sa Canada. So yeah, siguro po.
Magugustuhan mo talaga yan. I'm sure.
Yep.
So you said you will be starting working.
Mhm.
What kind of work have you applied for?
Right now, I get hired for a luxury brand and a streetwear brand in Canada, and I will be working for as a warehouse associate, and will be assigned receiving and data entry, which I think is okay because hindi pa gaanong madugo sa utak kasi nag-aaral ako. Gusto ko talaga i-focus yung studies. Yep.
Yeah, of course. So are you studying full time?
Yes, I'm studying full time.
Like how many hours in a day? Is it every day and how many hours?
Yep. Monday, Wednesday, and I'm sorry, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but not whole day. The only whole day that I have is during Wednesday. That's 9 to 8 p.m. But in Wednesday and Tuesday, it's all in the afternoon. up to evening. So I'm free Thursday, Friday.
Okay. So your work is only on weekends? Or
Yes,
you working
only
only on
Saturday
weekends?
and Sunday. Yep.
Your cat is that your cat?
Oh my, yes, that's my sister's cat, Gizmo. Gizmo.
Do you think you had challenges in your application or it was
Um,
easy?
Secret the challenges I had just the CAQ because I had to do that first before I can apply for the student permit. Before you can apply for student permit if you wanna study and come here in Quebec, but there's not much challenges. Siguro yung challenges lang na nakikita ko is preparing your documents because as much as possible, you have to make sure that all the documents that you have are accurate and correct kasi hindi mo siya madadaya kasi malalaman at malalaman ng
Yeah.
immigration officer. And as much as possible, you don't wanna risk that kasi pwedeng hindi ka na makapunta dito ever. So siguro yun po yung challenges ko. And going back and forth siguro sa Manila and Romblon, since I was working remotely in Romblon, that's just the challenges that I had. But in general, I didn't have much challenge because siguro my family has always been supportive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Challenges po coming here. Surprisingly sa immigration officer sa airport, I was expecting na madaming tatanungin. And I also even prepared my files just in case magtanong sila,
Yeah.
I'm ready. But no, they didn't ask me anything at all. Ang tinanong lang nila is my letter of acceptance at hindi yun sa immigration office, nasa checking sa check-in counter. Doon lang ako tinanong. It's probably because my travel history, it's one factor that can boost your application. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. Sa Canadian Embassy ba sa Manila, did you have an interview?
Physical po? I mean, face-to-face? No. Everything I explained through statement of purpose. It's like your letter of intent. You explain there why you want to study in Canada and why you're choosing this particular school, your experiences, your background, and all, and like your plans of coming back to Canada or whatever plans that you have in the future.
Wala na palang interview.
Yes. Wala pong interview.
How about sa school? Did they have an interview in school like this?
No, there's no interview. They just ask for my specific documents like what's this, college transcript or high school transcript, birth certificate, passport, those basic ones. There's no face-to-face interview. Yep.
Maybe they were really already kumbaga na-convince mo na sila sa mga documents mo that you are really, really qualified. Yeah, because you already like have experience also on your kumbaga yung program na ina-apply mo is related to your work experience, your educational background. Congratulations. So I know that you'll be really enjoying as time goes on here in Canada, and you will be graduating from your course. Yeah. Do you have any advices for those who are planning to apply as students?
Yes. For those who are planning to come here as an international student and will take the student pathway, first, know what you want. Secondly, make sure that what you want right now is what you really desire for your life, because coming here is no joke. And you have to be, like I said, prepared mentally, physically, and emotionally. Don't rush your application. Like, for example, like I said, thinking that your part-time work here can sustain your studies. No, it will not. It will never be enough. And next, prepare your documents as early as you can. And if you get refused, don't give up right away. Try and try again. And if it's meant for you, it will be given to you. And lastly, believe in yourself. Believe that no matter the circumstances that you will encounter, you will get through it. So yun po.
Yeah. Well said. Thank you so much, Lucky.
Oo.
Well, maybe one last question. Do you think your sister being here, parang nakatulong ba yon sa pag-approve ng application mo?
Um, Actually po, I've read applications where nare-refuse sila knowing that may mga family sila dito kasi it really depends on how you defend your application or paano mo siya i-explain sa visa officer why you wanna push through your studies here. But for me, I declared that I have a sister here, and my reasoning was that with my sister here, it would feel as if my family back home is just within reach. So yun yung yun yung pinaka explanation ko kung bakit I mean na mas advantage ko na nandito yung sister ko. So everything, I mean, your application really depends on how you will defend your purpose of studying here in Canada. So as much as possible, be truthful sa application.
Yeah. Right.
Just come here, guys, and don't be afraid to take risks and go out of your comfort zone, because outside of your comfort zone is where real life is gonna be more adventurous.
There you go. If you will it, it will happen. 4 months of document preparation while looking for the school, submission of requirements, and approval 1 month after, then flew to Canada 2 months later, and now enjoying her life as an international student in Quebec, Canada. It is expensive, but worth it. You too can make it. Plan your journey now. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next vlog.